Hello, welcome to the Tournament Center here at Pro Tour Battle for Zendikar. Deck builder in residence Sam Black is here with us. And we heard that you're 11-4 in the tournament, but sort of buried in that number is 8-1, which is your constructed record with Bant Tokens. So let's set this up. Tell me where you were on Wednesday before the Pro Tour, and then where you were on Thursday before the Pro Tour.
Wednesday, I had no idea what I was going to play. There was like a black-white deck that I kind of liked, and my team had some decks that they're playing in this tournament that looked good. There's a good Esper deck and a good Jeskai deck.
That team, of course, being Team Ultra Pro.
Oh, yes, of course. Then Thursday morning, I just woke up early after a short night of sleep in my hotel and just realized that the next step in the set of decks that I'd been building, trying to use Retreat to Emeria and not quite getting there, was to try splashing green for apparently only Nissa and Elvish Visionary, and brewed it up 5-0 to League real quick and just hopped on board and decided that was the deck for me.
So you built and decided on your deck on Thursday with 1-5-0 League experience under your belt.
Yes, less than 23 hours before the tournament.
Do not try this at home if you're going to your first Pro Tour. This is a move only for seasoned veterans like Sam Black. Let's take a look at the deck. He did say Retreat to Emeria, by the way. So this is Bant Tokens. Let's talk about the token makers here. Tell me about these cards. Why don't we start on Retreat to Emeria?
Sure. So Retreat to Emeria is really the key card of the deck. It's what everything's built around. It's an incredibly powerful card as long as you never miss a land drop. The problem with the card is that it's an expensive card, and if you can't follow it up with lands, it literally doesn't do anything. It says 4 in the corner, but most of the time you play it as a 5-mana spell, so you can immediately get a token, ideally 2 tokens out of it with a Fetchland. Basically what's going on here is that I have all these split cards, Anthem or Overrun, and Lingering Souls, Spectral Procession, whatever you want to call thing that makes a bunch of tokens. And
we like to call them token makers.
Token makers, yeah. So, just split cards, anthems, and token makers. So, historically, Overrun decks have a hard time finding the right balance between creatures and pump effects. When you just don't have to choose, it makes everything really smooth.
So an example I've seen you doing continually in this tournament is getting an ally of Zendikar. I've seen you just play this card and then immediately
put it in the graveyard.
Yeah, go for your emblem.
Yeah.
So this is you're happy to play this just as an anthem if it's the card you need in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just any kind of token overrun deck is about just finding the right mix of creature tokens and power-ups, and if I have my other cards that are giving me tokens, then that needs to be the power-up.
So we know about Hangerback Walker. We've known about this for a while. Secure the Wastes has also been around for a while, but we haven't really seen it in a deck outside of the Jeskai Ascendancy tokeny kind of decks. Talk to me about Secure the Wastes.
Secure the Wastes, to me, is the breakout card of rotation. It's not a new card, but in the old standard, it was just set aside because Elspeth existed, and Elspeth was the white thing to go wide and stabilize the board and turn the corner. With Elspeth gone, Secure the Wastes is your go-to card to do that in any white deck, and it's almost as good at it as Elspeth. It's fantastic.
So you've just said Secure the Wastes equals Elspeth.
Yes.
Okay. I believe him. All right, let's take a look at some more of the cards. Bant Tokens. Now, here are your creatures.
Yeah.
We saw a couple over there.
Yeah,
we had the Hangerback, but this is what's going on. 3 Elvish Visionaries, 4 Nissa Vastwood Seer, 3 Wingmate Rock, and this is your only green in the main deck?
Only those 2 cards. That's the only green. It's a weird splash. You don't often see splashed Elvish Visionary.
And by the way, Sam is not just the outlier. You have a couple other people playing this deck. I feel at this point it's necessary to put in a disclaimer and show that other people are doing well here. This isn't just Sam knowing his own crazy deck.
My last known information, Ben Stark had 1 loss and Justin Cohen had 2 losses as of last round. I don't know how they did this round, but...
Wow. No, it's really been impressive to watch. So Nissa Vastwood Seer and Elvish Visionary are doing what for you in this deck?
Making sure that you never miss land drops so that Retreat to Emeria works. 4 Nissas is not a number you see a lot. It's the best. It's so good to be able to play 4 Nissas. Because when you play a Nissa, you hit 2 more land drops, and suddenly your opponent feels a lot of pressure to kill your Nissa, and you're like, well, good, I have another one. And just always having that threat of that free planeswalker while not missing your land drops is amazing.
Wingmate Rock, a card I kind of think of you when I think of
Wingmate Rock.
Yeah, this is a card you're like, what is it about this card that you keep coming back to it?
Oh, it's unbeatable. Okay. But really, one thing that I think that any deck that's not just trying to kill your opponent as soon as possible absolutely needs is a way to gain life. With cards that just incidentally attack your life total, like Crackling Doom and Siege Rhino, where just the longer a game goes, the more your life total is going to go down. You need some way to gain life while you're turning things around to get back from the brink. And Wingmate Rock is the best on-plan life gain spell for my deck.
So you have to be able to interact with your opponents, I assume. Let's take a look at some of the spells in the deck. This seems like a great combination of things that'll let you buy time. Silk Wrap's also one of the post-rotation stars.
Oh yeah,
in this format.
It's all hanger back. I mean, Jace too. The fact that you need to exile Jace so that it can't get returned to play with a Jutai's command, and the fact that you need to exile Hangerback Walker means that Silk Wrap is just the go-to removal spell of the format, which is really, the fact that Silk Wrap is the best removal spell in the format means that we're in a world where the best removal spells are white and the best card advantage is green. So what do you need in your control deck other than removal and card advantage? Why do I need another color? The answer happens to be for Dispel, and because it's free.
Come over here and talk to me about
really
main deck Dispel.
It's just Dispel is just a super powerful card. This is a card that sees a lot of play in Modern. The fact that it's back, it's a card you want to pay attention to, especially when it's looking like 4 or more mana instants are going to be popular. Secure the Waste, Jutai's Command, Dig Through Time. Countering one of those is huge, but the real reason that card is in the deck is none of those. The real reason is Dromoka's Command. That card is incredible against me. I have tons and tons of enchantments. All of them are super important. Anytime they, unless I've Silk Wrapped a Hangerback Walker, I'll basically lose if my opponent casts Dromoka's Command at any time.
Okay, all right. So. We found the vulnerability in the Death Star. Stasis Snare, Quarantine Field.
Quarantine Field's a hot one when you never miss a land drop.
Yeah, no, right. You're talking about, again, how many lands total in the deck?
26, but it plays, or 25, 26, 25. But it plays 25, but it plays 29 because of Nissa.
Okay, so let's take a look at how you make that all come together. We've seen a lot of Fetchlands, but one Fetchland we haven't seen a lot of is Blighted Woodland. Yeah. And this is a card you said you should have had another one of?
I should have had at least one more.
At least one more.
When you have Retreat to Emeria in play, which you often eventually will, this is just a land that is incidentally a seal of Overrun.
Right, because people forget, Retreat to Emeria, yes, it makes an ally token, but it also gives all your creatures +1/+1 on landfall if you want it to. You have that option.
Right.
So.
And so you'll notice, with Retreat to Emeria, you always want to be playing Fetchlands, but I'm not playing the maximum number of Fetchlands because extra Fetchlands have huge diminishing returns because if your first 4 lands are fetch lands, you have to break them before you play Retreat and you're not getting any value out of it. Blighted Woodland, you don't have to break ahead of time. You can play it, get mana from it, use it to cast Retreat to Emeria, and then still be able to break it later, which is a huge difference between that and the other fetches that makes it a much better fit.
So what would you cut to make room for 1 or 2 more Blighted Woodlands?
Plains, just 1 Plains for 1 Blighted Woodland, and then maybe even a spell for another one.
Let's take a look at the round out the lands, 2 Canopy Vistas, 4 Plains, 4 Forests, 2 Prairie Streams. Maybe that one of those plains becomes a Blighted Woodland moving forward.
Yeah.
You also, one of the, I went over and watched you play this round, round you won, and you had Evolutionary Leap, and that's a card that's coming in out of the sideboard. Yeah. Tell me about that card and why you think maybe it should be a main deck card.
Yeah, Evolutionary Leap has been incredible for me all day. Whenever I've had it in play, I've just buried my opponent. It's so good with every single creature in the deck that it feels like something that I probably want to eventually draw into just in the course of a normal game. I want to board it in against anyone where I expect the game to go past turn 7, and that's everyone except super aggro decks, and that's just enough of the field that it's very likely that you want one main.
Right, and you're trading in tokens for these high impact
And
creatures.
it also just
or
lets you break your own
creatures.
Hangerback Walker, which is so important in this format.
I didn't even think about that. Oh my god.
Especially it's important for everyone, but when you need flying defense and you're trying to go wide, it's so much bigger.
Okay, so I think that is it for the deck. Sam Black, I'm going to let you go out. You have another round to go. Sam Black, Brian David Marshall from the Tournament Center. Bant Tokens, everybody.